All right, so today we're going to be talking about an apple that if you're in Florida, you could grow this there. That's coming up next. Hello everyone, this is Dwayne with Edge of Nowhere Farm, and we're coming to you here today at the beginning of June, and actually this is going to be our last video on apples, so I've kind of had this little series going on with our apple harvest because these particular varieties are all ripe at the exact same time. What you see right behind me here, actually that I'm in the middle of, are our Tropic Sweet apples. The Tropic Sweet apple is a variety that we get from Reed at RSI Growers. According to him, he's the only one here in the state that can sell them. I don't know whether that's actually true or not. I haven't actually tested that out, but in the end we did get it from him. The tree itself is about 2.5 years old. We had it in the ground for about 2.5 years, and it's really doing amazing. This tree, in fact, I'll link our other apple videos here for you that we've done here in the summer, late spring, early summer. But we've talked a little bit about that February frost that we had that really damaged our apple harvest. That hard freeze in February with these early fruiting varieties of apples, it really hurts, just like it does your peach harvest. In fact, what you can't see is on the other side of the tree, I have absolutely no fruit on there. So now, this tree we did get a very small harvest off of last year. The fruit was very sweet, much sweeter than the Golden Dorset and the Anna, but the overall crop size is smaller. You'll also recognize this tree. In fact, I'll link it. Did actually do a video with this tree on thinning. This is the actual branch. In fact, pretty sure this is the branch that I use as the example for thinning, to actually thin your apples. I'm pretty sure this was it. So if you look back at that video, you can actually see how it finally wound up as far as the fruit production is concerned. You know, we get into this time of the year, we start seeing bird damage, which is why we start our harvest. These apples are probably about a week or two away from actually being fully ripe. However, they do ripen on the counter, so we go ahead and pull them off as we start to see that damage so that we actually maintain the harvest as opposed to feeding all the birds. They got a lot of other things to eat back here in our yard. So but ultimately, back to the Tropic Sweet. So the Tropic Sweet is a low chill variety. Mentioned in the intro that this is actually a variety that can be grown in tropical areas like Florida. I know I've seen a couple videos on people in Florida. I think it is more northern Florida where I see those, but ultimately it can be grown there. In fact, I think that's where it was originally produced or bred, was in Florida. But it does really well for us here in Arizona also. Low chill variety only needs, I don't know, 100-150 hours of chill hours. We did get probably enough for that, but the frost is what hurt us this year. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and pick one. So now there's some massive ones. In fact, I'll show you the difference in size here in a minute, but I want to pick one that I can actually bite into for you. So now as far as the fruit itself, so it is a spur fruiting variety. It does get a red blush. Like I can already tell by looking at this one's not completely ripe yet. Probably needs a few more days, maybe a week or two. But it gets a really good red blush. You'll see it on this one, actually has a good red blush on it, and it should be mainly red. That's when you know that it's ripe. But I'm gonna go ahead and try this for you. Oh my goodness. Lori, you're gonna love this. Okay, so talked a little bit about, if you've been following our videos this spring, talking about our apples. We got our Golden Dorset, we have our Anna, our Tropic Sweet. Okay. The Tropic Sweet, hands down, the best tasting. Very sweet. You know, it's still not completely ripe yet, but nice, crisp, crunchy, sweet flavor. It's got a thin skin on it. Just tastes amazing. This is by far our favorite fresh eating apple. These don't wind up in the juicer. These wind up being eaten just like you see them now. You know, it's got that great pectin in the skin. Pectin's a very good antioxidant for you. You know, obviously real sweet flavor, but with the fiber content and those pectins that you're going to get in an apple, you know, from a blood sugar standpoint, slows down that absorption and digestion of that sugar and the absorption, more importantly. So very good for you. Obviously everybody knows apple a day, right? And we do more than one a day, but really sweet, crunchy texture. I'd take another bite, but I need to keep talking. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually come back through and we're going to do the rest of our harvest, but what I wanted to show you are some of the differences in size. So This is the one I just took a bite of. It tastes really, really good. And this is just another one off that same branch, and you can see the difference in size. I mean, that is a nice big fruit. So, I mean, we're pushing bigger than a baseball, so heading towards the size of a softball. So I'm looking forward to this one. It's gonna taste really, really good. So what we're gonna do is Lori and I are gonna go through and harvest. There's not a whole lot of fruit on this tree, so it's only gonna take us a couple moments here. We're gonna come right back to you and show our harvest that's coming up. Okay, so we're done with our harvest and wanted to share that with you real quick. So about half of a 5-gallon bucket, got some really good size apples in there. But it's about half of a 5-gallon bucket. I have a handful that had some pretty severe damage, so those are going to be going to the pigs. But overall, our smallest harvest, as far as our 3 spring fruiting varieties of our apples are concerned. One thing I did want to share with you, talked a little bit about frost damage, and it can have different effects on fruit. You can really see it on this one. So you can see kind of how big that fruit was, where that kind of ring goes around the fruit. That's frost damage. It's really hard frost damage. So that was on one part of the tree where obviously it really got hit the heaviest with that frost. But we had several of them that look like this, several of them that actually fallen off the tree in the last few weeks that had this frost damage on there. When I went through and thinned, I took the majority of this off, but I wanted to save a couple of them so that I could share those with you so you could see what frost damage looks like. So this one's a little more severe than we're gonna take a chance on with us. So that's gonna go into the pig bucket. But really that's about it with our Tropic Sweet apple. So just want to thank you for joining us today. You know what, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to our channel. We've got a lot of exciting content coming up here, especially during the summertime and our fruit harvest. Love to have you come along. And hey, you know what, if you can like and share the video, it really helps us out and helps get the word out about what we're doing here in Whitman on our farm when it comes to fruit trees and growing fruit trees in the desert. Really love to have you join us and have other folks learn about it as well. And hey, you know what, if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section down below. Really love to hear from you. I know Lori and I really enjoy interacting with you guys with those questions and comments, and look forward to seeing those too. So just want to thank you for joining us today and remind you, if we can farm on the edge of nowhere and if we can grow Tropic Sweet apples on the edge of nowhere, so can you. All right, so today we're gonna